All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Trisha here with Align by Faith. Today, I have a guest with me for the podcast episode. Her name's Lemon, and she is a legacy builder strategist and a sovereign woman eh, doing God's work in the world. And I'm going to have a conversation with her today, just talking about as spiritual entrepreneurs, like what comes up when we're in the day-to-day life and things that we've experienced and stuff that we can bring some value for you today to let you know that there's always a way through and to never give up on your purpose or your mission if you feel like you have a calling and something is weighing on your heart and your desire, you owe it to your soul to pursue that desire. And we're just going to talk about when we made that decision for ourselves and how it showed up and things that we've experienced since taking that action. Alrighty, Lemon,
Thank you for having me, Trisha. I'm excited to be here.
you're very welcome. I'm excited to learn more about you because we just connected like a couple weeks ago, I think even less than a month ago on
Yeah,
social media.
I
Mhm.
love how social media works like that.
I know, and it does, and it's like sometimes the algorithms, it we're feeding it, right? So it's funny because when I knew that I was meant for more and I was doing the work to do that, the algorithm met up and I started seeing women that were already where I was wanting to go, which was really cool because then I started to learn more and like get more information about things that I could do to like get where I was wanting to go.
I love that. I love that you just said like you decided. I knew I was meant for more and then decided to do the work. And I think that's really like the ethos of like what we're capable of. Like we just have to make a decision and it's an identity based decision too
Mhm.
that you made. Like I know that my identity, my situation, my circumstances can be bigger than what they are now. And just knowing that about yourself and then making the decision to go after it totally changes, like you said, what we're being fed, the people we experience, the rooms we encounter, all of that is different just because you made a decision.
Yeah, and it gets to be that simple.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so, and I just heard actually, what was it? Theo Vaughn was talking about like the way that he would pray. And he was saying, like, I would pray to change something about myself because, like, I'd made this decision that I wanted to work on this part of myself. But he's like, but I also knew I was going to like continue to do that thing. He's like, so then my prayers changed to God, like, I know that I'm lying to you right now. So help me like with that part. Like, help me like be firm in the decision that I'm making. And I just thought that was interesting. Like, he was like, I'm not like, I know this is the decision I'm supposed to make, but I know my flesh is going to want to like go the opposite. And so, therefore, like, I need you to help me even be firm in the decision and like be truthful in the prayers that I'm praying so I can go be the person that I think you want me to be. And I thought that was, I heard that last night. I was like, that is really a super interesting take. Like, he's
Yeah.
like praying, he's like, God, I know I'm lying to you right now.
Yeah. I know. The one thing too is I had to get radically honest with what I was doing and I asked my journey, what really catapulted me was I was praying, but the prayers I was praying for were my own prayers, right? And then I had to pray for God's will to God's will over my life more than my will. And I'm like, please remove anything that is not of your will. And then I kid you not, within 24 hours, I got, you need to stop drinking if you want anything to change. And I was like, oh my God. Because some of the things that I shared in past episodes is for as long as I was from a child to my adult life, I've been around people that have been using substances to numb and to self-soothe. So, a lot of substance abuse around me, and I was part of those relationships, and I was participating in the same substance that was being creating problems in other loved ones' lives. So, although I didn't like, I could have one drink and like stop, when I was hanging out with others that had a problem, I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? Because most of my relationships were around that. I was in real estate, and I'll, like, if you know anything about real estate, what do? You go to happy hour. You invite clients to go to happy hour. And so I was like, my whole life's going to change if I stop drinking because my life was around going to happy hour and things like that. So I had to get honest and be like, yeah, you're right. Like that does not serve me. If I'm trying to go here, that's not going to serve me. I need to let that go. So it was more about like taking anything that is not for my greatest and highest good and removing the desire for me to even consume those things. And since then, it's also been like I don't watch a lot of TV anymore. I'd be rather watching YouTube videos or listening to podcasts or reading books. It was like a whole o overhaul of my life and like the things I put in my mind and my body and my brain. It was very interesting process.
I love that, right? Because scripture says like God will give you the desires of your heart. And so people think like that just means he's going to give me whatever I want. But like God's heart is for you to be aligned with his will, and then he'll give you the desires of your heart, right? Like
Mhm.
it's when we're aligned and moving towards the direction and a bigger purpose and things that are outside of ourselves, then he'll give you the desires that you have.
Yeah, and then once I started changing the way I was praying too, well, the other thing was I got like these weird little nudges, like do this or do that, and I was like, this is insane. Like, what do you like? None of this is logical. It was like it was spiritual. It was doing things that are going to create a bigger impact, like recording the podcast, starting my YouTube channel, writing a book. And I like all of those things I share. I didn't know how I was going to do that, but I knew I was going to do it. Like it was going to happen.
I love that. I love that. I mean, that's like, I don't know, Noah building the ark, right? Like
Mhm.
he's like, listen, you're gonna build a boat and I'm gonna tell you step by step how to do it, even though you've never built a giant ark before. Like,
Mhm.
and I do love that like when God tells you to do something, he'll also provide a way for you to do it and give you the tools and the people and the resources and the things you need to accomplish what he's asking you to do.
Yeah, and for it in the beginning, it was uncomfortable because I didn't really know. I would, I wasn't. Tr I had to learn to trust those things that were appearing because I'm like, is this real or is this like true or is this for real? Is this really like an just like right now, this week, I met with a place to bring my movement and mindfulness classes. And I'm like, okay, so what is the fee structure? And she's like, we don't, this, no, we invited you into this space. You're not paying us anything. We want you to make the money off of this. And I was like, oh my God, like that's a blessing I was not expecting because every other place I've had to go where I'd host my workshops and stuff, I had to pay a fee to, right? And
Yeah.
that's how I know it's of his will.
Yeah. Right. I do think that that's always interesting. Like, it's not to say doing his will doesn't come without challenges or struggles, but I feel like there's like a peace with it too. Like, I don't know, it's different when you're like, oh, I'm operating like in his grace, in alignment with what he wants. And like sometimes he will ask you to do challenging things or you're stepping
Yes.
outside of your comfort zone or like the of course the enemy doesn't want you to do that either. So the enemy is going to throw things at you to try to derail you or question or doubt or even just delay, like even just a delay in what you're doing. And so I think that's like a super, like when things like that happen and it's an unexpected blessing, you're like, okay, God, like you're still with me in the process.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the challenging things is to be vulnerable and courageous enough to share with others what your vision is and to invite them in to be a part of it, because if you're doing it in silence and learning, like not everybody is worthy and deserving of you sharing your big vision with them, we have to
Hmm.
be mindful of who we're sharing it with. But it was interesting too, because even since my move from Arizona to North Carolina, like I came kicking and screaming. Did not want to leave. I have an adult son that's in Arizona, and I knew if I moved away, he would not be able to come with us. And so I had like, but I ask God for the wisdom. I'm like, you need to show me some signs and things like if this is the right path to do. And I had to have conversations with my son about it and ask him, are you going to be okay if mom leaves? And all those kinds of things. And as soon as I landed here, I was like, oh, I know why you brought me here now, because these are where my people are, where I'm gonna, the next part of my journey, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And I love also that it's like it's okay to ask God for like a sign that I'm moving in the right direction. Like, is this what you want for me? Because if it is, like make it like I'll accept like God, just make it obvious. Like you're like, I need some clear and like convincing evidence that this is what you want. And it always happens, always like it'll be a sermon, a podcast, a note from a friend, a something that's like, this is exactly what I want you to. I'm like, okay, I'm moving forward then. And I also like that you said you don't like you have to have discernment as to who to share like the vision with. I've been in that situation where like I have shared like I have big goals, I have big vision, and I've shared it with people before, and they immediately are like, well, who do you think you are? Why do you think that you deserve those things? Or why do you think that this is okay? And just like so negative. And I'm like, oh, you're not a safe person that I can like have this conversation with because like it's an identity issue within yourself that you're projecting onto me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's that's one of the painful lessons we have to learn um as people that are growth mindset. It like not everybody wants to grow. Not every like some people have developed a life that works for them and they're just okay with the status quo and you know, the 9 to 5 or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a 9 to 5, but some I've had quite a few people in my life that I've had to be okay with stepping away from because they're still in my life, but I don't talk to them about what I'm doing personally. And I don't even share like my podcast with them or talk about it or my books or anything like that. It's very like, you know, kind of, we just don't talk about that stuff.
Yeah. No, I 100% get that. Where like there's people I've known literally my entire life, you know, and I'm 36 now and I've known them like 35 and a half years. And our relationship now is vastly different than it was when I lived close by and things like that. Cause I'm like, we're just on two completely different paths now. Like you're very content staying in this fixed, limited space. There is and they'll never listen to this because they're not that kind of person. But like they're very content saying stuck where they are. There's always an excuse as to why they can't move forward, why they can't grow, why they can't do something. Like there's always a reason. Where like my best friend and I, every single morning, we have a quote unquote morning meeting. She is very like goal oriented. We are both constantly like pushing each other, talking about business, talking about expansion and growth. And, you know, like it's super I'm like, this fuels me. Like I'm happy that she calls me every morning for about an hour and we're just like, here's what's going on in our life since yesterday. And then here's what I'm thinking, here's what I'm feeling, here's how I want to grow. What do you think of this business decision? And it's just like, it's a constant. I'm like, that is so fueling and satisfying. Where like the other one, I'm like, it's like an energy vampire. I'm like, is, this is so draining. And so I'm like, I have to limit contact or it's going to bring me down and I'm not going to be able to get to the places I want to get.
Absolutely. When I became aware of that in 20, was it 2020, yeah, that's why I started my own community in Arizona because I wanted to be around, like I wanted to attract more of those growth-minded women. Um, and for like 5 years, I was the one that was always inviting and doing the facilitation. And then I had my eye surgeries in 2022 that did not go good. And I had to really like shut everything down and take really good care of myself. So when the move came, like the way the Lord brought me here to this town and like the people around here, they are so rooted in faith and like growth and like faith, mission-driven businesses. It was so funny because now I get to be a participant And
Yeah.
I don't have to be the initiator and the leader all the times. Now I can walk with another group of women that are on the growth mindset. And it's been so beautiful. Like we have a really beautiful Wednesday networking meeting group that we get together, and all of us are really just like, okay, this is happening and this is where we're going.
Yeah.
Having those conversations. Okay, yes, and but like, yes, that happened. Yes, and but this is where we're going. And not
Yeah.
let those excuses and those real life experiences get in the way of the bigger calling.
Yeah. I think it's really easy to let your circumstances dictate what you think you can achieve. Like
Mhm.
I just had this conversation with my husband actually. So he just turned 43 on 4th of July. And he was military and then blue collar. So like he's been, you know, there's no like upward mobility for him. And he hates it, like it's hard on his body. He's like, this is actually the worst. Like I can't do this another 20 plus years. And so we were having a conversation and he tells me, he's like, I always wanted to be a therapist, but like I don't even have a bachelor's degree. And I'm like, okay, so get one. And he's like, well, and then he started like stressing. He's like, am I too old to go to school to be a therapist? And I'm like, no, time's going to pass anyway. I'm like, even if you graduate with your doctorate at 51, I'm like, you still have 15 plus years where you could be doing something and be more impactful and all of those things. And so, but he, of course he's stressed. He's like, we have a mortgage, we have all of these things. Like, is it okay for me to like step back a little bit from work to pursue my dreams? And I'm like, I think you owe it to yourself to pursue the dreams that you have. Again, time's going to pass anyway, so you might as well do it. And so, again, like he's like, okay, great. Like, so we applied, he already had conversations with admissions. Pretty sure he'll get in and it'll be fine. It's where I'm going for my master's right now. But he's like, okay, like I'm not going to let whatever circumstances hold me back. Like we're just going to go forward and we're going to figure it out and we're going to pursue our dreams and our passions. And like, I don't have to stay stuck in this industry that I'm currently in just because it's what I've been doing for 10 years.
Absolutely. I had something similar with real estate because when I had my eye surgeries, it was very clear like that wasn't a sustainable way for me to earn income anymore because of all the driving and things like that. And I wasn't able to be like do things that I could included like rapid eye movement
Mm,
because of the scar tissue that it would have built in up in the eye. And so I had to like just really take a lot of time off and even off of screens and stuff like that. And it just allowed me to go inward and contemplate like what do I want to do for my future? Like how am I going to provide for myself? Thankfully I'm married and I have a husband that provide, but that's not sustainable. Like we really wanted to have two incomes, to like live out our dreams. So that's why I stepped away from real estate and allowed myself just to be a mentor, a spiritual teacher, and find ways to, you know, get clients online and like doing little workshops and things like that, doing more in-person things because I know we're talking about like we heal alone, but we also need, but there's only so much healing work we can do on our own before we need, like somebody else has to come alongside us and see something. We can only see what we can see. So we need other people to mirror parts of us that are not visible to our own self. And so for me, like that, the in-person stuff was okay. I really want to get back into in-person and like have in-person connections and conversations and healing moments and things like that. And then I went down my journey of getting certified as a Kundalini yoga teacher and being able to be certified in that way because that was the path that I could take. I didn't have like the path I couldn't wait to go through the college and all that kind of training. So I took the path that I could take. And it's like, even so maybe you, even if you're, he couldn't, if even if the college stuff wasn't a thing for your husband, there's another path available. There's always going to be a path to where you want to go. And you just need to be open to multiple different ways that that can unfold for you.
yes, I love this. I always say like I don't know, like I just expect the unexpected all the time. Like, I don't
Mhm.
know, like things are gonna show up the way, it's meant to, or like there's just so many things that we don't know, right? Like our scope of knowledge is limited to like our experiences, like whatever training we've gone through, things like that. But there's so much more out there and available. And so I'm always like, God, like I'm open to however you want to solve this or however you want to make this happen. Fine by me. Like, I don't, I don't care how it works out. Just like as long as it works out is all I care about.
Yeah, I got that. Exactly. And I was really struggling with that for a long time because although I have the skills from serving real people in real estate for 20 years and knowing how to like negotiate contracts and stuff like that, I had a conversation with my therapist and she's like, honestly, for you right now, because I haven't had a substantial income and we've created some debt that I'm trying to pay off. She's like, honestly, right now, I just want you to get out there and just start putting your offers out there. Like, I don't want you to even focus on going through the counseling and the therapy college level training right now until you get yourself in a better financial situation. So that was really cool for me to get that feedback from my therapist. And she's a therapist that is actually a professor. So she's the professor that teaches therapist future therapists. And I was like, well, thank you, because I could have went down that rabbit hole and spent, way more money on going and getting a degree instead of getting the money and the income coming in now. So I was really appreciative of her honesty and when she shared that with me.
Yeah, I also think that's like a thing we tend to do as women. We feel like I need one more degree, I need one more certification, I need a little more training, I need a little more this, that, or the other in order to go and accomplish the thing that you're supposed to accomplish. And I think it's a lie. Like I
Yeah.
think it's a lie from the enemy. Sometimes you do need that degree, right? Like my husband wants to um open like his own private practice. Like he knows the kind of specialty. Like he wants to write a dissertation. Like we're in the same boat. I'm the same way. But like there's so many things I'm like, I did not need to spend the money on that sort of like I already knew the skill. Like, why did I spend money on this just because I was doubting myself or doubting my capabilities, doubting what the outcome could be, or just seeing other women being successful and being like, well, therefore they must know more than me. So therefore I'm going to spend thousands of dollars to learn from them just to learn that like they weren't teaching anything new under the sun. Like I actually knew everything they were teaching and I just wasted a bunch of money that could have gone to something else. And so I also think we have to like trust like our instincts and our journey. And again, the skills that we've already acquired. Not that I don't think you shouldn't like go out and learn things, right? Like you
Right.
should. I
Yeah.
think you should constantly be learning and growing,
Yes.
but you also shouldn't let it delay you from doing the thing that you're called to do.
Absolutely. I think that's the key message is, and I just ran a 21-day challenge on Excuses Be Gone. It's not the book Wayne Dwyer. And
Mm,
when I read that book, that's what that really activated me because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm letting so many things get in my way. Those are my limiting beliefs. Those are my limitations. And I had like writing my book, I saw how many of those noisy critics that I had, and I was like, no, we're not. No, we're
yeah.
doing this. It's getting done. I have this, everything's showing up exactly as it is, and it's gonna be done. And then the person that I needed help with to get it posted on Amazon by New Year's Eve, he's like, Trisha, do you want this done on New Year's Eve? I was like, yes. And he's like, okay, it's gonna get done. It's done. We're doing it. Like, okay. Because I was like, oh my God, it's not working. It's asking for more of this. It's asking for edits. And he's like, we're gonna get it done. We're getting it done. And I'm like, okay, thank you so much. So sometimes God brings people into your life too that
Yeah.
help you get there and to get it done.
Agreed. I definitely see like, I don't know, the me. So like prime example for me is like I decided to go back to graduate school. This is my third master's. So like this isn't new for me, but like going my last two were virtual. This one's in person. The doors that have been open, the people that have come into my life, the opportunities, the experiences and things that I've been able to have just by like again being willing to do something a little different, going to learn. The people I've met is next level. The conversations I have are so stimulating. And so I'm like, my whole life looks completely different because one, I was like willing to do something different, but two, I also nurtured the relationships with the people in the program. And
Yeah.
because I was like willing to build relationships and ask questions and be available and willing to learn and all these things, like God has opened doors that I didn't even know like could be opened.
Yeah. That's the willingness to have those conversations, ask questions. Don't make it all about you. Like when you're in a space, you're there to serve. You're there to meet people and to ask them questions and be curious to get to know them and know who they are and what they're doing. And that has been when I shifted that from judgment to curiosity, a lot of things changed for me because before I'd be like, oh, why is she's doing that? And then I was like, I learned real estate helped me personal development. I've been in personal development for like 21 years because of real estate. So there was a purpose for that career too. It helped me learn how to ask integrating questions and to not make it all about me and to be more curious about that person. Because that person, if they're in your life, God has them there for you to learn something from. Everybody that is around us, we have something to learn from.
I love that. Yes. I feel like, and God will remove them when there's nothing left for you to learn.
Yep,
like, like you'll
absolutely.
know.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, this is such a good conversation.
So good. Trisha, this was so fun.
Yes. Let's tell people how they can connect with you or find you.
So if you go to Facebook and type in Lemon Price, you'll find me. Or you could just go to lemonprice.co and it has like my email, my social, all the fun things. But those I think are the two easiest ways to find me.
Okay, and what are you doing? Do you have any offers or anything right now that you have available for listeners if they wanting to work with you?
Thank you for asking. So right now I just launched the Well Live Society, and so it's whole life leadership development for women, with the goal that you're creating a legacy. So how are you impacting your community, your family, but also stewarding yourself and like caring for yourself in the process. So for your listeners, if they want, the founding member rate is closing, but I will keep it open. So if you guys ever come from this show, just let me know you came from Trisha, and then you don't it doesn't have to be a membership for you. I'm like doing the founding member rate at 397 one time forever, never get charged again, where everybody else is like on a subscription model. So
I
if
love
you come
that.
from the show, you can get lifetime access for literally half the price of what the membership costs yearly. So
Awesome. Thank you for offering that.
yeah, thank you.
All righty. Well, y'all, you know how to reach me. If you have any questions or general curiosities, reach out. I will see you on the next one.
Thank you.